Hey Bimbos, welcome back to part 2 of Nomadic Hospo with my guest, chef and adventurer Hubert Hachiski. If you haven't listened to part 1, I highly recommend pausing this episode and heading back to start there. Also, a quick note, I'm unable to get into my Hospo Bimbo Instagram account, just an FYI. It's a long story, but Instagram sucks. Their two-factor authorization shenanigans are bullshit, and I've been working on getting back in there for the last week and a half. But in the meantime, I've turned my personal account into a backup because I refuse to surrender, so make sure to follow me there as I'll be posting daily. I'll make sure to drop the link in the show notes. Anyway, in this episode, Hubert will walk us through how he came up with the idea of Sushi by Hugh. As you may have discovered from getting to know him in part 1, once an idea pops into his head, there's no time wasted. He's unlocked his potential. He's found something that has allowed him to combine all of the things that he loves and put it into one entity.
Now I'm cooking, I'm spearfishing, and I'm doing hospitality on like a whole nother level. And it may just click. It's like, this is what I want to do right now. This is what I want to be.
In this second part of the episode, Hubert and I talk about Sushi by Hugh and the inspiration behind it. We cover his time cooking on yachts and the guests that he's encountered. Very hilarious. Coffee robots, definitely a thing, creativity, and what's up next for Hugh. The reoccurring theme here is everyone has a story to tell. Whether you're a New York Times best-selling author, a barista, a triathlete, a dishie, storytelling, in my opinion, is one of the biggest ways that we can connect with others, and it's one of the most rewarding elements in this whole entire human experience that we're having. It's honestly why I fell in love with hospitality at such a young age in the first place. Having those deep conversations with the people that I worked with and learning something from them. That connection also just in general made the shift better, and the shift after that, and the shift after that. There are true emotions in kitchens, and some of the most beautiful people I've ever met have been from restaurants. If you're not already tuning in from YouTube, make sure to follow me there and tune into video part 1 and also the video part 2 of this episode. Let's just jump straight back in where we left off, and thanks for being here.
Okay, so that was the whole story.
Hold on, my laptop is gonna die. Seems like you've got quite a lot on your plate.
At this point, I don't know. Like, it seems like that, but I don't feel it that way right now. I'm just like, oh, let's see what happens.
Seems like you've explored your interests really well, and it's led you to new opportunities, new doors opening, and I think that's something that everyone can learn from, because even myself, I've kind of stuck within coffee and just being a waitress and like a shitty, I've never really served in fine dining. I think the closest to fine dining I've ever dabbled in was literally working for Norwegian Cruise Line, and I was working the dinner service and it was shit. But even like sushi, I know nothing about sushi, and like it's piqued my curiosity, and now I'm like maybe I should go onto YouTube and figure out how to become a sushi chef.
And you can probably tell me more about it, because when I listened to your podcast couple episodes, and I think the most interesting one was the last one, the hotel girl.
Oh,
your friend.
Yeah, Brittany.
Brittany. And I feel like, to me personally, that was like, I'm like, okay, so this is basically the hospitality, Everyone from us, no matter where, how fancy it is, like, I feel like you say it really well. Everywhere you go, you want to serve people. And if you take that quality of everywhere you want to go, I want to serve people, and like watching you evolve with your podcast and everything, I feel like you want to not only like serve people, but now you're like going into like, I want to educate people, and you're taking that skill forward. So I believe like one obsession or like one trait goes forward. Like, I drink coffee when it's cold in the morning because I'm too lazy to make a fresh one. It's a sacrilege.
Wait, what?
If I would have someone like the coffee girl in my office, I'll be like, this is a blessing. What the fuck?
Yeah.
To me, you can tell when someone really loves what they're doing, just going into a place where they serve you a nice coffee, how smiley people are. Can you make a conversation? Does the person take time to make a conversation with you? If you can tell that the person is making a coffee and like is interested in a chat, but you're also putting off a good vibration. So understanding hospitality, going in, understanding like what is this person going through, and then adjusting to the situation. I feel like you crack a code. You could eat in the best restaurants and get the best treatments if you know like, hey, this person is stressed, this is how I have to react. Or hey, this coffee person is stressed, maybe I chat or maybe I don't, or maybe my order has to be simple, like, hey, like you can create the outcome from yourself towards how you get treated in any place in hospitality.
It's definitely
it's crazy.
It's definitely a certain trait that a lot of people don't have. Like I always say, you can literally tell when somebody hasn't worked in hospitality because they're usually a little shit. They're probably very self-aware, not regarding what's going on around them. And those skills that we learn in this industry can be applied to anything, any role. Backtracking, but when you brought up Brittany,
yeah,
I don't know why, but
the plunger story, by the way, Brittany, if you hear this, the plunger story. What the fuck?
So I'm going back to the States next Monday, and she's coming to meet me, and we're doing a part 2.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but her episode is like it was popular, but it's popped off again, and everyone's like, when are you gonna do another episode with Brittany?
It was definitely funny, and yeah, it was enjoyable. I was cooking next to it. I was just listening in, and I was looking at my food, and I'm like listening to this shit story. I was just like, all right. But
what's crazy is she works at like a 4 to 5-star resort. Like it's fancy as shit there, and it's funny because it doesn't matter at what caliber you're working, it's always the same shit. Yeah. Like,
I believe my worst guests were the ones that were pretending to have money. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The people who really, really are rich. I think there is difference between be born rich, and like self-made rich. Like I would put these 3 categories. The worst charter I had was like a group thing. Multiple boats, similar to like the yacht week, but different. And this woman is just so fucking obnoxious. It's day like 4, and she just gets fucking wasted every day. Like you watch people getting wasted constantly. And she just looks at me and yells from the other side. And I'm like pissed off at that point. Like I never got angry. I never was like shut the fuck up or anything. Or like even in my mind, I was like, I try to always like do the best I can from the side of the back of the boat. She yells, "Hey chef!" like in her stupid, like rusty, drunk fucking voice. And I like see her face when I like it boils my blood. Bake me a fucking cake. And she like yells at me. So I look at her and I'm like, go bake yourself a fucking cake. And it's the first time I said something back. I stopped cooking that day. I was like, hey, if you guys don't behave, I'm not gonna make food for you because you're very disrespectful. So the guy who was organizing the Slack party was like, hey Hubert, like we apologize, we're gonna behave from now. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And you know what? I was listening to the conversations at the table, because if you imagine the kitchen or the galley is like here, and basically the people are sitting there. So I can listen to every conversation. Like who fucked who, what's in this town, what's in the city, and you hear everything. Because it's like people, as soon as they're on a boat, they believe the water, no one has ears and eyes, no one sees anything, no one, whatever. And like you hear the weirdest fucking shit, the weirdest stories. It's like, okay, great. Like my brain had to like filter 95%, because I couldn't believe how stupid people are, or how the fuck do they even make their money to be here. Like I don't get it. Basically, the main topics were money, who fucked who, and what people are going to be doing when they get home, or like their entrepreneurship and the crazy ideas they're having. That was the worst tip of like a whole year. I've never heard someone say, I have like $1 million, I have $1 million, I have like so much money, I have so much money. For like a whole week, the topic of money was so big, and like what they're gonna do and what they're making and like what they're creating, what they're famous for, that like getting $150 tip for 7 days, I wanted to give it back to him.
What would be like the
average
like, tip that you should that you would usually get for that?
The best was $6,000 for a week for me.
Wow.
The worst was 150. The average is between 1,500 to 2, kind of. I mean, it depends on how you really treat your guests and of the quality of the guests, I guess. You will see everything between, like my best was 5K, 6K, but everything between, mostly like 1, 2, whatever, like, you know. The best people were the ones that didn't talk, they just enjoyed, you know. There was the nicest guests were the ones who are like quiet, and they really downwind from their busy life, and they have a drink or two, and then they go to bed, and they want to learn like about the crew as well. Like they just want to talk to you, learn something new, eat good food, and as soon as the food is good, you kind of like you can destroy the mood with bad food really quickly on a boat. If someone eats shit food, they get bad mood.
Is that your mantra? Shit food, bad mood?
Have you ever paid like over 50 grand to go on a cruise and you look at water and like you eat shit food? But I feel like there is another thing which a lot of hospitality workers don't do or don't have the chance to do, is being a guest.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like we don't give, and this is what I think like needs to change. I feel like hospitality people need to be guests as well. Like there needs to be something where like Hospo workers get a chance to become guests, just to see how awesome it is to be really treated well. You know, like hey, like whoa, my action is a reaction. You know, and same the other way around.
I also think even when you're working in Hospo, like I've noticed this as a different. I don't know if it's all places in New Zealand, but like back in the States, all the servers, everyone that was on shift, we would have dinner together before service. So we would all sit down and enjoy a meal that the chef whipped up, and we would all be together. We would be trying the food, talking, chilling out before a manic shift. And it just really set the tone for the night. Not only are we understanding exactly what we're eating, we can describe it perfectly, but we're just getting in tune with everyone. We don't have that here in New Zealand. And I think that's why the hospitality here, I feel, is not, well, it's one of the reasons, but I don't feel it's like super on point. Like it's kind of losing its touch, its flair. I don't know. Now you like walk in, I mean, it's not all the time, but as a guest, you can just feel when there's tension, like with the people that are working. True. And it's just not a vibe that you really want to be around, I guess.
Yeah, true. I would agree. I think that's the biggest case. Like the energy in a place. Like I love to go to certain coffee places, not because of the coffee, but because of the vibe. Mm-hmm. And then if the coffee is like extremely good, and this is where you're like, oh my god, you know, like that's why this coffee is worth €3 right now, or 3.50. Like a good coffee is €3.50. That's a lot of money for a beverage.
What is that in New Zealand dollars? Is that like $7? $5.50? The price of coffee is going up too, so it's gonna be fucked.
Mm-hmm. What's a coffee in New Zealand worth right now? Like a good one?
I mean, it depends on who you're asking, but I usually just get a filter, like a drip coffee, and that's like $5. If you get your large cappuccino, gals, it's probably like $7. If you're adding coconut milk and all that extra, it's really expensive. And I think it's going to be pretty shocking to go back home because the conversion right now is horrible. So I think it's pretty much double. So I'll be paying like $10 for a coffee back home. I have a
espresso machine.
Do you?
I decided I'm not buying. Yeah. I only brew espressos right now, but I'm trying to limit my coffee intake.
How's that going?
Let's not talk about it.
Real quickly, I just wanted to say, be sure to check out Hugh on Instagram at Hubert_Hachiski. That's HUBERT_HACISKI. Hubert is also on YouTube, so find him there and fall into a nomadic rabbit hole of his travels over the years. Warning, it may cause impulsive desires to leave your life and travel, so be warned. Again, I'll drop all the links to these in the show notes below. Back to the show. You mentioned that you're kind of taking a bit of a break. What's next for you? Like, do you have any grand plans for 2023?
I want to make like a story cookbook. Every cookbook is just about recipes. I want to mix like experiences in life with like cooking.
Yeah.
It's like you can read it and then there's a recipe and then you can go cook it. And if you don't want to cook it, you can continue reading.
Yeah.
It's like, but you will always take that book back if you're like, hey, I want to cook like this Indonesian dish that this guy talked about in his book. Because I feel like 10 years, a decade of experience of traveling, meeting awesome people. If I would go into detail on all these stories, what I've learned, books have been written on smaller ideas. I never really understood those 10 years, what they are worth. Because, you're living this life, but like I stopped, like I tried to stop social media for a while. I kind of regret it because I think with the following back then, like I think I reached 35,000 followers and I was like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. I like to be private. It might seem weird. I'm learning how to explain this story. I'm learning how to sell myself because I feel like to me, this is nothing special. I feel like I haven't reached the limit. I feel like I can do so much more. But I have friends telling me like, Hubert, you're undervaluing yourself. Like you could take this already and like grow to something much larger. And I'm like, how? Like, look, like to me, this is normal. And then my friend tells me like, it's in a nice way. He's like, dude, you make your own videos. You know how to spearfish. You fly across the world to set up a restaurant. You set up restaurants like kind of here. Like the pop-ups are just like huge restaurants. You create menus, flavor pairings, you make your own website, like catch the fish yourself. And I'm like, I never talk about how I cook or something. I just always say like, hey, you know what? You want to know how this food tastes? You come there and then you tell me afterwards. The more you talk something up, the higher the expectation goes. And then people will tend to get disappointed. I don't talk about it. And this is the beautiful thing here. I never had to sell my product. People came to eat. It was word of mouth. People continued coming eating. And that was the goal. Every time I see an ad like this is the best sushi in town, come eat here. Is it? Why do you have to say it's the best?
Yeah.
I just want to be like, just come, check it out. Don't want to talk about it. Just come eat. And that's like the mantra. That's why I want to like make this book with the experiences from all those 10 years and pass on maybe like, hey, if someone wants to do something out of their skill trade and really learn it, just go do it. Like, what the fuck? Don't limit yourself on your people around you who are saying like, people are like, you can't do this. I think that's crazy.
Yeah.
I think that idea is crazy. You're doing it right now. Like the podcast that you started, like, I want to know how much anxiety you had in the beginning.
All of it. I still have anxiety.
Yeah. To me, watching from outside, I'm like, this is fucking awesome. I want to talk there.
And then you find out we can't even get online for an hour.
Yeah.
So professional.
No, but tell me how many good hospitality podcasts there is. Like, we have a German one, but it's run by like a famous chef. And like you have to, they only interview famous people.
A bimbo nugget. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. Not those who tell you you can't do this, you can't do that. Seems pretty self-explanatory, right? But you'd be surprised on the people that we choose to spend our time with. Also, a great way to identify if you're in love with something, if you're laying in bed at night thinking about it after the honeymoon phase, yeah, that's love. You're on the right path, and all good things take time. You know the saying, Rome wasn't built in a day? It may be 2 years, maybe even 5 years before you start to see return on your interest. But the people who succeed are the ones who don't give up. Cheesy, cliche, piano de merda, whatever. But if you believe in yourself, you're gonna go places, kid. Long story short, it has taken me 2.5 years to fully understand what I want, stop giving a shit about what other people think about how I look, how I sound, the stories, all that. The whole reason why I created this podcast is because I just wanted some sort of outlet where I could vent and talk about the hospitality industry in a way that's not, just really polished and fake, and I think just fun and whimsical, just tongue-in-cheek that goes into the industry, and I wanted to show that. I didn't really realize, but I think as long as you just have to identify what you're wanting, what's lacking. So like you just said, there's no other hospitality podcast like this. So boom, let's create one. Create something that's going to resonate with other people and they're going to relate to. Because at the end of the day, we all want to relate to somebody. Somebody's going to look at your journey and go, how do I do that? Like, I want to do that. I want to travel to Indonesia and I want to learn to spearfish and all that. And I think by you sharing your story, you're actually reaching quite a larger audience than you realize and speaking directly to them.
It's the same for you. It's like, personally, this is speaking for me. I doubt myself a lot. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I don't know why, but it's just like, hey, I want to always reach another level. But looking from the outside, like I'm taking your podcast and I'm like, raw people are like the most beautiful beings in the world. And who is more raw than people who kind of serve, I wouldn't say serve, I would say like hospitality. When they like go through this shit, like these stories, if I would go into like my craziest story, okay, let's go into like a story, like a young chef apprentice story, right? And I think this is the worst one I've had. Private dining, prepared the whole dinner thing, 5 courses, whatever. And basically my job was to prepare everything so the head chef comes in and all he does is just finish his plate. A lot of work, 35 people, 45 people or whatever. A big number of people. I prepare everything from scratch. The fine dining place. It's a 5-star superior hotel known for private dinings. Long days, head chef is freaking out. Every venue is popping off. And it's just me and like another chef up there because 2 people is enough. He comes up and I put a sauce in like a different saucepan than usual. It was a bit more volume, so it was like kind of heavy. It wasn't too heavy, it wasn't too bad, but it was the only pan in the house that was left. He grabs this fucking saucepan. He looks at me. He goes, "You little motherfucker. Do you think I'm a bodybuilder?" Grabs this fucking saucepan, throws it fucking over the place. The sauce is just sticking to this stupid shit wall. And then he goes, "Get me a fucking another one." So I'm running down, getting a smaller saucepan, filling it up again with sauce. And then I came running up again, sweating, tears in my eyes. I'm like 19 years old, 20 years old. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I'm getting yelled at every fucking day. Like, I'm not doing anything right. And he just continues with his sauce. And he goes, "If this fucking kitchen is not clean perfectly tomorrow, you're getting fired." I'm like,
oh my God.
Okay. 5 in the morning, I'm cleaning the kitchen. I'm going back down to change. I fell asleep in the changing room. 8 a.m. I'm back at work. I slept like 2.5 hours. And this is like the experience you have to go through. Mm-hmm. And it's like, if someone would do that to me today, I'll like punch them back.
Yeah. There's no HR in hospitality, really. So anything goes.
No, we've also got burned for like, he was holding the pan and he was like serving and everyone is on adrenaline. And if you would like do something wrong, he will just like burn your hand with the hot pan. And it was like to the point where like kind of you accepted it. I had scars on my arms everywhere from like hot pans and of course burning in the ovens, whatever. But those ones were like kind of like personal and to the point where I looked like I was cutting myself. So I got like my forearm tattoos at that point because I was like, I don't want people to see my like scars. Like, people must be thinking that I'm like either cutting myself here or something. And I had like this in my head. I was like, hey, I need to get this. I need to get this done. Like, I need to get tattoos. and this is where it starts, you know, it's like it fucks with your head so hard. Like what's the reason to burn someone, to work faster?
There is no reason at all.
Yeah. And I was like, how the fuck why would you do that? And he's like, oh, it's just fun.
People play into that whole toxic kitchen environment almost to like, I don't know. It's sometimes I don't think it's actually genuine. They're just trying to be like, yeah, it's a fucking kitchen and high-strung restaurant, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's like when you want to yell at someone, the thing is, Gordon is on such a level that, you know, he blindfolds himself and he takes apart a chicken. He blindfolds himself, he fills a salmon. I mean, to some people that's very, like, special. But if you go into really, like, high-trained, like, chef levels, like, we had to take apart, in my apprenticeship, I was taking apart 1,000 chickens a day.
Fuck.
And of course you can do blindfolded. It doesn't matter. Now I'm filleting, I don't know, a ton of fish a fucking day. It doesn't matter. You know, it's like, what are your skills? Like, how far do you carry them? Do you master them or do you don't? And that's the thing. He can be a dick to people because he knows he can do it and he knows what the people in front of him can't do. So he's allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
And I see it the same way. Like, being in the sushi chef school, don't get me wrong, like, the education in restaurants these days is so fucking bad. Some of them. I was shocked that people don't know how to fillet fish. Even chefs these days, because everything comes done for them. Everything is like prepared. The trade is like kind of like, hey, just cook some food, dude. Like, get it done fast, make money.
Yeah.
And that's where it's scary. It's scary these days, you know.
There's literally robots making coffees, like with latte art in California as we speak right now. Yes, there is. Google it. There's a whole coffee shop that's just robots, and they're like pouring rosettas and shit, and it's insane.
Bullshit. I'm looking it up. I don't believe you.
I think.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
Cafe eggs at San Francisco.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. No, this is bullshit. Burn it.
That's just like the evolution. I mean, maybe not necessarily robots or whatever, but people just have such a short attention span. Everything needs to be done yesterday.
How did you not read my mind? I walked in here. How could you not tell what I want?
Yeah. Cappuccino?
I'm here every day. How do you not remember me? How do you not remember me? How do you not remember me? I'm here like twice a week.
I know the owner.
It's everywhere around the world. It's the same thing. You know what? Walk into a place, be nice, order your fucking thing, walk the fuck out, or sit down. And if you know the owner, he will come to you. You don't have to go to him.
I'm just going to go in the kitchen. I know the owner.
Oh, what? Oh. Straight up stabbed. Whoop. No one walking through my fucking kitchen.
It happens all the time. All the time.
You know, my friend has his bar, and I don't go there that often because he makes me feel very, like, he wants me to feel special there, but that certain treatment, and I'm like, dude, like, you're stressed. Your bar is full, you know? Like, you're building a really awesome thing. I don't want any special treatment, dude. And he's like, okay, I know, but, like, you're my friend. I'm like, no, I'm just a guest. I just want to be a guest.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to sit in a corner and just order a drink. Like, I hate pampering.
Yeah.
Now, you said at the Coffee Girl episode that everyone expects you to make coffees.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Do you, like, talk about it now when you go somewhere to a new job? If you would go to a new job, would you be like, hey, I can make you a coffee? And then it just continues where it's like, hey, this is the best coffee ever. Would you do that again? Would you like...
Yes, because I can't not do it. Like, I have to... Number one, I'm going to make a coffee for myself, but I also just, like, if I'm not doing something for somebody else, I feel awkward and I act awkward. So it's just a way to keep myself busy. Hi, can I make you a coffee? Okay, great. And that's 5 minutes that I don't have to sit here talking to this person and be socially awkward and just be busy.
Smart. I learned that from you. I can save 5 hours a week from making coffees.
Honestly.
At work. I'm just copy-pasting you at this point.
And then
when I hear that, I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you just start offering to do other things like, oh, are we out of milk? Sure, I'll run up and get some milk. Oh, do we need to take the trash out? Whatever. Like, there's just little tasks that I like to do to just shave off, you know, extra time of my workload.
I need to start cooking for my friends more at work.
Does everyone not already ask you to cook for them?
Yeah, I just don't do it. It's on my own it's on my own terms.
I did wonder about that because I would assume that everyone in your life would be like, cook us something.
The worst thing to do to me, and people know that, and some people know that. We go out eating in a restaurant or something, and they go, this guy is like one of the best chefs, you guys better don't fuck it up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Please shoot me and bury me under the table at that point. And I'm just like, first of all, I'm not one of the best chefs. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't think I could rate myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to compare myself to anyone else. Never want to. Like, I don't. Done. I don't like competitions. I don't like cooking competitions.
Yeah. I don't know why people do that. It's just, like, why when you're with somebody and they go, oh, you better make her a really good coffee because he's a chef.
For you the same, you know, like your friend and you go to like a coffee place and then your friend might just be like, you better make us a good coffee. She knows what you're doing. Yeah. And you're like cringing inside and you're like, oh,
it kind of reminds me of like when you have somebody that comes in and they used to work at that restaurant and they're like,
another one. Yeah.
They're like, oh, is Hubert in the back? Is he on the line today? And you're just like, who the fuck are you? I'm like, yeah? Like, oh yeah, I used to work here. I used to work here. Cool.
Oh yeah, I used to work. Funny thing, I don't cook in Germany in any restaurants. I have an issue.
What?
Know. I could not stand in a restaurant here. Like if it wouldn't be my own one, I couldn't stand in a restaurant. Unless, I couldn't be under another head chef, I think. Like I have and I know that, and it's a big problem. I feel like it's an ego thing at this point. Because I'm wondering, what can I learn from this person? I will try it, but you know when you sign a contract and you're like kind of working under someone and then you're like realizing maybe they're not good, you can't learn anything. That's where you're like, oh, what am I doing here? But then what I did start enjoying really much is because I'm working in this fish startup, I see who orders what type of fish, which restaurants. So I started delivering the fish to the restaurants, and then no one knows that I'm a chef. Because I'm playing delivery boy, fish delivery boy. No one knows that I have a sushi education. No one knows I've been a private chef on yachts around the world. No one knows I've been like cooking in Michelin star places. No one knows. People look at me and they're like, some fucking dude who is stuck in life, 31 years old, is delivering fish because he has nothing better to do. It's the best thing I could have done. It's like, sometimes I really feel like, hey, that was awesome. I walk into this restaurant, drop off the fish, and then I look at the order, like I'm like, hey, this is so fucking weird. And then I'm in the position where I can ask, what do you do with it? Because they just expect me to be some stupidest driver that's like showing interest to cook at home. And I learned the greatest recipes. People give information for free away when they don't know who you are.
I talked to somebody else about this, about sharing recipes. And do you think even if somebody were to share their exact recipe with you, you replicated that, it's not going to taste the same. It's going to be different. Are you protective of recipes? Like, do you not like to share?
I don't have recipes. There is another yacht chef on Instagram called shout out Dean. Biggest inspiration. You have to follow him. The yacht chef. Of course, you have certain recipes like baking. You always need a recipe. Dean has the same mentality towards recipes as I have. As soon as you look at a recipe, you see the amounts, you know what's going in there. After like I feel like a certain amount of years of cooking, especially on boats, is where you have to really become creative because the menu might change in a second. Mm-hmm. The guests they wrote down their preferences, they're changing their mind. You have to cook every cuisine they want. It's like you're cooking Thai, you're cooking Japanese, Korean. Suddenly you have guests from Australia, you have guests from New Zealand, you have guests from America, Midwest, East, whatever. You know, you kind of like going Mexican guests. European, French, Italian, Spain. And then they want this recipe, or like they ask you, do you know how to do this? Because you're like, they're kind of like only to go to, like you're a yacht chef. You've been traveling the world. You need to know this. You've been everywhere. They come in with that expectation, so you need to meet it. How do you meet this expectation with knowing so many recipes? you start adjusting your creativity at looking at a recipe from someone, taking the numbers, and then you have such a free flow that you basically follow it one-to-one by following the flavor profiles, developing it into this new thing. And I feel like he will say the same thing, because I was watching a podcast with him and another guy, like a YouTube episode, and they both have their own secret recipes for certain things, where like you take the time and develop something, and this is the ones that you keep secret because it's so much, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But the basic stuff, whatever, just look at it. Okay, cool, this is it. I know how to do it. And it seems like kind of like arrogant or something, but it's just a trait that you learn on a yacht. You learn this flexibility, you learn this adjustment, you learn like, you cannot say no. I mean, of course, if you don't have the ingredients, just figure something else out, like make it, fake it till you make it with the dish. But it's a much different environment, people expect you to be having recipes in your head.
I'm just going to scooch in here real quick. Hope you're enjoying the episode so far. If you're enjoying the podcast, please consider supporting the show by heading to buymeacoffee.com/Hospo Bimbo. You know the spiel. For the price of an orange mocha frappuccino, you can help keep the show alive. All money goes towards subscription fees, gear, and travel funds on getting here, there, and everywhere to keep supplying you the content that you deserve and the content I love. XOXO, back to the show.
The startup that I'm working for is called Frischke Fisch, so basically freshly caught, like if you would translate it. It's developed by two guys who asked the same question as I did. How come Hamburg is a harbor city with a massive port, but we don't have fresh fish? And as soon as you start digging deeper into our fish consumption of people around the world, basically, I wouldn't count New Zealand or Australia into it because the fisheries there are very well monitored. The consumption here in Germany is basically based off tuna and salmon. So my biggest wake up was anywhere I go, in any shop, I always have salmon. Then you multiply the shops, and then you multiply how much fucking food is on the shelf, and then you multiply that on Germany, Europe. Like, how are we maintaining this?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, holy fuck, how many tunas are getting farmed a day? Like, how much emissions is this? So that's where I was like, okay, it's clearly I don't want to use those products because there must be something wrong with it. Like, I mean, in a clear mind, you would be like, how do they farm it that fast? It's an animal. It has to grow. And I go, how? And then on the other hand side there is different catching methods and regulations. So you have trawlers, you have the dredges and all this other shit that destroys the sea floor, picks everything up, huge nets with massive bycatch. But then there is new technology that is just unknown to us, but the price of the fish is different. So, it's always about the end consumption price. Because now you have real fishermen till today go out, put a net, wait for the tide. The net catches the fish. They pick up the net, sort the fish. It goes back to the auction. And suddenly you're having, fresh fish in 24 hours in Hamburg. But the auctions are only in Holland, Denmark, and Sweden, and Finland. But we don't order from Finland, it's so far. So that's like one way. They chose the most sustainable catching methods. And we have one guy watching the auctions with a filter, so you can filter in the auctions which catching method do you want to use. At 5 a.m, he wakes up, looks at what the boats have caught. Then we check by quality, so there's a quality rating. Then the fish goes auction, we buy it, and it arrives the next morning or like the same day in Hamburg. 24 hours from boat to restaurant. But now this is the catch. And I believe it's not the fault of consuming. It's the fault of education of the chefs. Because we are the ones who have to make it tasty. But if the teaching from the head chefs goes wrong onto the apprentice, and like you teach him only to work with one fish, where he doesn't ask the question where it's coming from, or you don't educate him where is this from, he will never learn anything else, and he will possibly not be like, hey, is this good or bad? It's just like you told him what to do. So don't see I don't see the customer as a fault. I see us as creators of the sort of the not creators. I feel like we're the between farmer and consumer.
Yeah.
If someone goes to a great restaurant and he eats this awesome fish that he never heard about, but it tasted so fucking great, he will want to recreate it. It's always the same. It's like you watch Gordon Ramsay make a fucking dope-ass salmon. People buy salmon. The fact that salmon is on sushi is only because of mass producing from like Swedish people or Norwegian main traders went to Japan with salmon. Hey, we're gonna pay you this much money if you start using it on sushi. And people were like, okay, cool. Like, this sounds great. Like, if you look into the story, it's ridiculous. I feel like the more we ask questions and like really ask like the rough questions, like why are we eating this? Like, why are you eating this? Do you know where it's coming from? Are you sure? Like, even like being vegan cannot be, the biggest, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's the biggest emissions in the world. It's not farming beef. It's farming rice or something like that, Like, rice farming is the biggest CO2 emission in the world. It's like, hey, it's just like what information is being pushed around everywhere in like the food sphere. Like, who is saying that?
It's just all about education.
And that's why I feel like we are with fish. And personally, I came here with the goal to be the change.
Love that.
How the fuck am I a person who went to LA to make a sushi course, come back and like take apart, 30 different species of fish and see like which one is good for sushi and which one not? And like the local ones are like the most tastiest things I've eaten so far. Also, I don't like looking at my own I don't like tasting my own food because I know what I already like in my head. I already know what I want to make, so I like kind of judge. I know how it tastes, but I want to be a guest in my own restaurant, and that's why I know that I have a product. Because if I want to be my own guest, I know that I would want to sell this product. That's how I make a menu. It's not about like, oh, okay, it sounds fancy, it might be good. No, I want to be my own guest. I've went to so many seafood restaurants here, and I have to say, the good chefs, the really good chefs are fucking awesome. Like, these guys are pushing new boundaries, new limits. Like, they're creating... I mean, in Denmark, Noma has been cooking with algae for, like, fucking almost a decade, and we are just figuring it out. And I'm just like, was I living under a rock or not? Because where's this education? Unless you go into this restaurant or you buy their books, you will never figure it out. And that's what I feel like. If some chefs will listen to this podcast, hopefully, I'm not sure, or anyone who eats seafood, basically, like, be sure to ask questions. Like, if the person doesn't really know where it's from, means like there is something to hide. I know from a fact, when we get like a pike perch in our facility, the name of the guy who caught it is on this label.
Now, I know I'm not the only one who seems a bit confused on what's actually sustainable and what isn't. So, what is sustainable seafood? As quoted from oceansociety.org, sustainable seafood is seafood that is caught or farmed with minimal environmental and social impacts. When done correctly, sustainable seafood sourcing prevents overfishing, minimizes impacts to other ocean wildlife and habitats, and takes into account the social and economic impacts on the communities from which the seafood is sourced. So how do we do our part? As Hubert mentioned earlier, know the source. Identifying where your seafood has come from is the very first step. And even though it might be slightly uncomfortable at first, it is absolutely crucial that you start asking questions either to your chef, your waitress, wherever you're buying seafood. Everyone in this world is built on supply and demand, right? So the more that people start to ask, the higher the demand for more information on resource. In turn, hopefully, restaurants will catch on. Our customers seem to really care about where our seafood is coming from and how it's caught. Let's address this. Another great way to do your part, think about the carbon footprint. When you buy local seafood from farmers markets, the fish has been most likely caught using sustainable methods, and in turn, that carbon footprint is greatly reduced. You're not buying a fish that's been transported by plane or boat, or a fish that might have more stamps in their passport than you do. And even better, if you can, buy seafood directly from the fishermen who caught it. This all might seem tedious, but the choices that you make when it comes to seafood will have an enormous impact on our ocean's health and will set the tone for future generations to come. These practices also don't stop at seafood. We can all create a greater impact by buying local as much as we can. Consider shopping at a farmer's market, maybe even buying the odd bunch of fruit that doesn't look as pretty, something that's in season. It might force you to step outside the box and experiment with recipes, but how exciting is that?
The experience going to markets, farmers markets, And the funniest conversation I heard was someone grabbed a parsnip and it didn't look that well. So she goes like, hey, I want a better looking parsnip. And I was standing next to her. I'm like, why? What's wrong with this parsnip? And she goes, well, you can't eat that. Like, look at it. I'm like, yes, you can. And she goes, and she was like, so you're a young guy and you're telling me you know how to cook this? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, so what would you do? I'm like, okay, so you take this parsnip, you take almond milk, you put this parsnip, you peel it, put everything in there, boil it, and you take it into a blender, you make parsnip puree, and you won't see that this parsnip looks bad. It's pureed, but it's fucking awesome. It's like you use the vegetable that you didn't want to buy. And the lady at the market was like, what the fuck? Like, see, because they were arguing about this parsnip not looking right. And I'm like, why are we so obsessed with vegetables looking perfect? And I mean, I'm telling you, pureeing vegetables is like the best thing you can do.
Okay.
Like I'm a huge.
That's gonna be.
I'm a huge.
My biggest takeaway is I should be pureeing vegetables.
I mean, I boil my shit in oat milk all the time.
Really? Oat milk?
Yeah, fuck yeah. All the white vegetables absorb the flavors, and from drinking so much oat milk lattes, I love the taste of oat milk. So I take like my parsnip or Jesus, I forgot the name. I'm sorry. I like another white root vegetable. You can just peel them, boil them in oat milk, take them out. They will absorb the milk, kinda, and then you have like a new sort of flavor of food, and it's just like great. It's like awesome. It's like you don't expect it to be that great, and it's like whoa, mind blowing. Like what the fuck? And that's why I want to make a book. I want to show, not even just like teaching. I just want to give people new ideas. You don't always have to use water. I mean, like, okay, we know we can make wine. We use wine in so many things. The best curries come with orange juice, you know?
Orange juice.
It's like, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you need to make a book because I need to buy it.
I feel it's our job as hospitality people, if we want to continue like a certain standard around the world, like it's our job, either which medium, like your medium of podcast, so good because you can actually, you know, if someone takes an information out of here and starts asking a question like, hey, so even that point, like I can boil my parsnip with oat milk, like fuck yeah, like we've helped one person.
Yeah.
You know? No matter what we're doing from hospitality, taking that point to pushing ourselves, like fuck, like I need to listen to all your episodes, you know, but I'm such a, like I listen to podcasts, I put it on, and I have everything done in one day. So I've listened to like 3 of yours, and now I'm waiting for a moment till there's more for me. So I'm just going to absorb everything.
I'm just going to tell you right now, you're not going to want to absorb all of them because not all of them are the greatest, but
some of them are really good. I mean, and next time lock your door at the car before you start filming.
Oh my God, Jesus, you really... Yeah. Well, I will tell you that next week's one will be really good. I think you'll like it because it's more on like creative process with somebody else who's really good at what she does.
That's awesome.
And then I'll be doing another one with Britt. But Britt, we might do like a really gross like mukbang. So
you know what funny part is, if you want to have another one, we need to get into like and I think this one, I would love to be on it if you have like a multiple people thing. Sexual comments in hospitality.
Oh, Jesus. I could talk about that for fucking years.
Chefs only spend time with other dudes and dicks all the time. So when they see a pretty girl, they're like, oh my God.
Yeah, and it's always like, because you're just coming from the front of the house to the back to get something that's being plated. So you have like literally a 15-second interaction and they're like, your mother sucks cocks in hell or some shit and says something grotesque, and then you walk off and you're like, thanks.
Yeah, bro, good comment.
It's always just like I remember there was this chef at my last job, his name was Angus, and he was so funny. He was from the UK, and he would always say, I would come back there and he would just grab a vegetable and he would put it at his crotch and he would be like, I'm gonna fuck you in the ass in a minute. And I'm just like, thank you.
With this cucumber.
Yeah. I'm like, thanks. Hubert, I feel like we could literally talk for like have 7 more hours.
Fucking all day, I know.
But I think we should wrap it up. I apologize for our
Same.
hour-long technical errors. We sorted it out in the end.
You know what? It's okay. Like, whatever. Like, it's fun. It was fun. I didn't realize we were talking for 2 hours, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I hope it was fun to listen.
Yeah, I love this. I definitely learned a lot. And I hope that anyone who's listening has also learned a thing or two. Make sure that you ask questions about where your food is coming from, know where it's coming from, and just help educate others.
And just say yes to every stupid idea you get.
I really look forward to watching your journey. I can't wait to see how far you go in the future and where you end up. And who knows, maybe we'll end up meeting one day in LA at a sushi bar.
Definitely. Basically, I'm planning April, two back-to-back events. So if you want to help and work, feel free.
Well, I'm going to be in DC.
Oh, it's all right. I think there's going to be enough budget to fly awesome people around.
Hey,
Hopefully.
I would be 1,000% down for that.
We need good coffee in the back of the kitchen line.
Oh, Jesus. That's what it always comes back to, eh?
I know, the best coffee maker.
Yeah, and then I'll just be announcing that you're a chef to anyone I come across.
They will see me in the chef jacket, so whatever. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
this was very nice.
I've been studying how to tell the story in less than an hour and a half. It doesn't work.
No. But all the good stories take time, so that's fine. Wow. Big thank you again to Hubert for sharing his amazing story. I don't know about you guys, but after chatting with him and spending this time creating this episode, I feel rejuvenated. I feel excited, and I definitely learned quite a bit. I hope you were inspired from this, whether that's how you can take your Hospo career and run with it, be a better chef, go all in and say yes to your dreams, or keep pursuing that thing that you love, because it's all worth it in the end. Once again, be sure to find Hubert on Instagram and YouTube. He's doing some epic shit, and he's definitely one to watch. Anyways, guys, that is cheers up for now. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.